All right, we're here with Elise Hu from NPR, formerly of the Texas Tribune, former TV reporter
and formerly
as well.
of television.
Yes. So this panel specifically focused on making news entertaining. Why do you think TV stations are so hesitant in incorporating creative ways, and not creative ways in the ways TV stations think are creative, but truly multimedia creative ways of telling a story?
Well, I would say that there are some television stations that are standing out and trying to be a little bit more digitally forward, but I know that in my experience in television, there was a lot of sort of institutional resistance to doing things in different ways. Some of it is because of resources. I mean, we all know that TV stations are largely strapped, and people are in certain roles. Graphics people do graphics, engineers do engineering. You know, when reporters are having to be live at 5, 6, and 10, and so there's a lot of just a built-in structure that probably needs to be re-examined, and reporters, those that are a little bit more digitally native and digitally savvy, are going to have to experiment with things on their own time. So one of the reasons I was able to be successful as a blogger, even though I was a KVUE reporter for several years and had to do my 6 o'clock package every night, was because I spent time outside of work, or I would sort of double my work in order to try things on the web. And so long as there's an attitude where they give you some room to blog or try things out, then the reporter or the producers can make it what they can with that space.
News is a fairly pessimistic business. Fairly maybe a kind word. Do you think that has a lot to do with it too, or they just don't feel the need to do it?
Well, some of it has to do with revenue, right? Does this make money? Does this help boost our ratings in a way that more advertisers are going to come to us and buy ad time? And so to the extent that it's just tied to whether you can make a profit with it, there's a problem, because then there's really no incentive to sort of try different things, because you're not sure whether to take the risk. And that's part of the reason I became involved in nonprofit news, because it was a little bit more fail fast. Let's try it and see what happens.
What's an example of a TV station you've seen that's forward thinking and trying new things?
Well, for example, a lot in the Pacific Northwest. I would say King, for example. They had a guy named Corey. I can't remember his last name. He went to Lost Remote, did a lot for Lost Remote. He was doing a lot of things that were on the web that were separate from what was happening on television. I think more and more stations we're seeing, and especially at the network level, CNN, NBC, are trying a lot more things socially, and I think that's exciting. Except, you know, when we talk about multimedia projects, it's been hard for news organizations to devote resources to those projects. But PBS NewsHour, for example, they did an oil spill ticker last summer during the big Gulf oil spill, and that was ridiculously popular. They empowered a computer developer, a programmer type, to essentially develop that ticker and make it work. And so hopefully y'all can find that and look to that as an example, because it was separate from the actual NewsHour, which some people consider stodgy and don't watch, but the oil spill ticker allowed people that never would otherwise encounter PBS to go and check something out that was interactive.